So what's your roadmap with the company now? Like, what's the plan?
See, if you ask me, probably I'll always be on the clouds, right? Thinking something out in the space. But the idea is, see, when CISOs join an organization, they have
Mm.
this painful process of talking to people and learning what is there. And when CISO team or security teams goes actually on the ground, it's completely different.
Mm.
So my idea is, see, I joined as a CISO for many companies or consulted as CISO for many companies, and I was a CISO for a company. The biggest
Okay.
problem is, see, nobody wants to lie in a corporate environment. They just want to say what it is, or at least what they know. There is this broken pieces of knowledge across different segments,
Mm-hmm.
right? Especially in cybersecurity, it's either missing or people don't know about it. And they
Yeah.
say it is there, but they don't know the ground reality. So that's what I wanted to build for CISOs and at least the manager and the cybersecurity teams. Hey, here is your cyber stack. Yeah, let's say EDR, a SIM solution, IDS, IPS, pen testing tools, your GitHub repositories, your static code analysis, everything. You just
Mm.
ask. So it
Yeah.
doesn't talk to people because previously it used to be a 90-day exercise meeting. Each business leader, what does your business do, what you do, what is my area of that I need to focus. Now as
Mm.
a product, let's say I integrate it to Microsoft Stack, I can ask, hey, what is this team working on, what is my team working on there, what are the gaps that are really there. I have 2FA policy enforced across the organization, but who has the exceptions, right?
Okay.
So
Uh,
So if okay, what are my public facing system that are vulnerable? Now, previously
mm.
this used to be a 2 weeks task, right?
Yeah.
You need to ask your security team, application team, your system admin, say which IP addresses do I have? Is there any vulnerable code that is running? See, one of the example was Log4j, right? People kind
Yeah.
of panic.
Yes. Yes. Yes.
If a
Absolutely.
CISO had, let's say, the product that we are building is, hey, what is the impact of Log4j? It used to, list it down. Hey, you have 10 applications, three of them are running Log4j and they're exposed to internet. Rest of them, they don't have Log4j. Or you have a, internal application that's not directly exposed to end user. No,
Mm.
full stop. But to do this, many teams spend countless nights in an organization to identify where is Log4j, right?
Yeah.
Probably they have a vulnerability management program, but they didn't have any signatures around that time. Log4j became a international sensation, right?
Yes.
So many vendors were late to the party. Many vendors wanted a rescan of their whole environment to identify issues, right? So that's what we are trying to, you know, build something of a sort. You have your SIM, you have your EDR, you have your network controls, you have your cloud controls. Basically, one tool. If an analyst asks, hey, block this IP, it should block. Analyst
Mm.
shouldn't do, 10 different cycles
Definitely.
of loading pages and then blocking it. I know a couple of source solution does that already, but let's say there is that extinction of, you know, recent threat intel. We need to block specific things. They can block recent threat intel. CISO gets a different perspective saying, "Hey, you are impacted by this. Hey, you need not worry about this." Right.
Mm.
So that's what we are trying to build, especially with the latest LLM. Whatever that we could build a wrapper around it, build a rack capability, and also have an internal vector database to have the local context. Because one of the biggest things of what I see in the AI market right now is the context.
Context. Yes.
See,
Yes.
we are
So
doing a podcast. We can directly say this is a recorded interview. We are doing this. Suddenly we go into personal. I understand the context immediately, but the AI doesn't. Right?
yes.
So that
Yeah.
one we are trying to have a local context and a long-term context. We are
Mm.
trying to come up with something. I don't know how succeeding because all other platforms or large language models are trying to do the same. Probably they might succeed or we might succeed. We don't know. But the context switching is very difficult. You keep asking a question to generate a HTML page, and you ask some other question, it will generate a HTML answer. It doesn't
Yeah.
generate the answer, right? So it doesn't switch context, as a
Yeah.
human brain does. That's what
Yeah.
these models are trying to emulate, but that's where we are trying to see how we can isolate those contexts. And I have that one tool kind of gives a peace of mind, especially for senior management and CISOs, saying, hey, I have a detection that takes care, or you don't have anything, you have to ask. somebody to do it or get somebody to do it. So that's what we are trying to have, that one, reduce the clicks to get the information.
Yeah.
Second, you have one place of truth, because in enterprises the truth is everywhere,
Yes.
bits and pieces. So that's
Yes.
what we are trying to build.
That's a very interesting idea.
Yeah, I don't know. You see, I do have quite a long product roadmap, but it all sustains on the first go-to market that we have, first MVP success, generated revenue. Because at present we don't have VC. One, I don't have a VC network. Second, when you take VC, you are pressured towards revenue. If you don't take in the right partners, we might lose track of what our product needs to do. So VC might be a last option that we have, because we do have a service line of business that is running, and we are coming up with a training line of business. You remember my Udemy stunt,
Yeah.
right? Where,
Yes.
where where I did make, this is one of my proudest achievement, where I did make 100K a course of 4 years, which
Yeah.
kind of gave me that financial cushion even now to launch
Yeah.
this company. So we are
Yeah.
kind of starting that, because that can be a good co-branding exercise and also a brand builder, and showcase your expertise. Because one of the things services company struggle a lot is saying you are the right partner to do them the job. When you have a author or you are teaching people, that trust automatically builds it. Because
Correct.
when I started that Splunk, many people reached out, hey, can you manage my Splunk? I said, no,
Yeah.
I'm
I
already in a
remember
full
those.
time.
I remember those. Yeah.
Yeah. There were a couple of Canadian company, they wanted to have a whole Palo Alto suite of devices on Splunk. I said, hey, I'm full time, I can't take it.
You remember those
So
people calling you Splunk God.
yeah, so
Yeah.
that's what we are trying to have, another stream of revenue there. And whatever the service line of business, we did launch, land a good Australian company for managed service. So that was a big win. And frankly, I didn't expect it to go this good, but it's really going good. We have South Africa, we have US, we have UAE, and we have Australia. So we are
Oh,
in 4 countries.
oh, awesome.
So that's what it's feeding into the R&D that we are doing on coming up with the product. But eventually, the goal is to productize, because it's easy to scale. Plus, if services lines continue to do so, because that's where we can deliver value, even with a product or service, the value is what we are primarily focusing on delivering. Let's hope. At present, I do not have any expectations. Just do whatever you do and see where it goes.
Yes, of course, it will be a success. I can already feel it.
See, these are the things that I don't. It comes out naturally when we speak, but one of the things to close off, let's say, the podcast, right? If kids or now generation, if they are walking into the tech world right now, entry level jobs are pretty hard to find. Nobody wants entry level, because it's kind of being replaced by LLM and agents. One of the
Yes,
point that you earlier mentioned in the conversation also, learn to use which tool when, right?
yes.
Apart from that, what do you think would benefit these guys who are coming into the market?
I mean, they still have to have their hands on with the basic things rather than or completely focusing on these automated agents. Like you just mentioned, like the new employees in your company are like very much fond of
Default.
using. Yeah, before. So I think that is kind of a tricky thing, but you you have to have that mental blocker to stop at certain point, and you still need to build on your basic understanding of things rather than completely. I mean, it's good to use this, but then you have to understand yourself also. You need to build that mind map where you understand the basics of how things works. That's the core skill that you still need. If you lose that, then you'll be in trouble. Like you'll be completely relying on this kind of models and things.
See, one of the advice that I give to my employees is, see,
Mm.
you can ask ChatGPT anything, but you should be able to judge whatever it's saying is correct or wrong,
Exactly, yeah. So
right?
for that, yeah, for that you need this basic knowledge. That's the thing.
Yeah.
Yeah.
True, because that's when you can see whether that is being productive or least productive. Because I see it is going in loops sometimes, saying,
Yes.
"Hey, I fixed it, check," but it doesn't do anything. It just
Yes.
adds a bunch of lines of code. But yeah, I think
Especially
that's
coding. Like been in many situations when it just goes in indefinite loops, keeps on doing the same thing, and then, oh yeah, I made this mistake, then I'll do that, and then you're back in the starting point. So that's the thing. Yeah.
Hmm. And see, you're what you said, 14, 15 years of journey.
Yep. It's like 14 years now.
Who do you say one person was most influential in your career?
Hmm. That's a couple of persons, I would say, not just one
Okay.
person. Yeah. I mean, among that, one would be you because your UW thing was like completely blowing me off.
Yeah.
I was like, wow, how did he manage to do that? Yeah.
I didn't know that it would blow up that big, but
Yeah.
see, I was into crypto. I still have do my crypto, and
Yeah.
that was the revenue that I got from Udemy. It kind became my retirement fund, right?
Yeah.
So that's the cushion that I have. If everything goes, sell my bag, and
Well,
live financially peaceful.
having that passion and having that determination to complete those many hours of video recording was like, during that time when we were in, you know, I think we were in roller court during that time. Yeah,
Roller
right.
sport, yeah.
Oh, that was like insane level of dedication. So that's
Yeah.
definitely you are one person who inspired me, and then a couple of other
See,
persons. Yeah, too.
See,
Yeah,
one of the things that kind of pushed me was I was getting married. I realized that I will not get this level of time once I get married. So that was one motivation. The other
yeah,
motivation of non-stop cigarettes, right? And sometimes my throat used to hurt. I used to smoke that much because 1 hour of recording, go for a smoke, come back, then start recording again. I, that was one hell of a time, but yeah, I was always thinking, hey, if you want to make $1 million, you question yourself, are you putting that $1 million effort?
yeah,
Because it doesn't come without efforts, right? If you are buying let's say an iPhone, you buy it because you see the worth. Hey, its quality is smooth, its camera quality is better, right? So if somebody is buying your course, will they think it's worth, right?
yeah,
My thing was only that, right? If I am buying something, I'll see whether it's worth it. So if I'm doing something, hey, I need to make $1 million, am I putting that much $1 million of effort, right? I can say I did that, I did this, but eventually you can't fool yourself. That was my only motivation. Hey, if I need to make more money, I need to put more effort. There is no shortcut there, right? There's no AI tools to write script. I used to scribble in my notes. No, I used to
yeah,
improvise while recording. Editing was horrible. I still look at it and kind of cringe about it. But yeah, it was a crazy time at that time.
yeah. True.
Yeah. Any other people?
Yeah, a couple of others also. Like from leadership perspective, I would say like a couple of my managing or like the people who I used to report to back in EY, also back in Dubai government, and back in my current company also. A couple of people. I don't know
Yeah,
if I
see,
can name everyone, but yeah. So a lot of people inspired me. Like yeah,
See, for me, since we came over influential people, probably I'll be talking throughout this podcast about this when I interview new guests. But it's good to push it out on the first because one of most influential person that I had was my first manager. Kind of, he
mhm,
gave me freedom to try things. Hey, if something happens, I'll take care, right? And that kind of gave me to learn new things. Anything breaks, I used to go to him without fear, right?
yeah,
Hey, I broke this thing. And the late stage of my career when I was way too comfortable, right? I met Hamad,
yeah,
right? And he kind of opened up my side of things that I didn't know when I spoke to him or when I interacted with him. Hamad, right, is very hard to
yes,
keep up with.
yeah,
And that's where at the time I started learning new things. And when I saw him, I always thought, hey, we can do something.
absolutely,
And I was way too comfortable in my career at that time, and I thought, hey, this is where I need to break out because, or else I'll be because we saw. I think you also relate to this. People are comfortable for 20, 25 years in a company.
yeah,
I
true,
saw
true, true,
myself in them.
Yeah.
right? Hey, I don't want to be like this. That was the first impression to break out of comfort zone. And I saw 20, 25 years people are in the same organization. And I was like, okay, what should we do? And when listening through podcast and other thing, the thing that I learned is having that goal and growth mindset. I think that was the day I shifted from goal to growth mindset. I wanted to, when I left Dubai, I wanted to enter C level. Luckily by God's grace, I became CISO.
Mm.
Then after I became CISO, I was fed up with cybersecurity. Same vulnerability, same patches, same WASP top 10, new zero day, new adversaries, new attacks, incident response plan. Kind of repeating for the past 10 years, but it's kind of a ongoing thing. It never stops.
It does stop. Yeah.
Then I wanted to break out of that cybersecurity mold, work in a product company, understand how a product from a feature, from a, idea comes out to the market. Lucky that I met a couple of people in that journey who kind of educated me on how product is brought to market, because few of the terms I was even not even aware. There is something called feature parity. Have you heard it?
Feature
Parity.
parity.
It's like
Not sure.
you and your competitor compare feature to feature. Are
Ah.
you equal or not?
Oh, okay.
I was like,
Okay.
what the hell is this? But it kind
Something
of
different.
gave me like how the other side of business, when they are working in a startup, they think, right? If somebody, their competitor launches, they have something called feature parity request. Hey, they launched it. We need to have something similar, right? It was
Similar.
crazy, sleepless nights, but always something breaks on the production or goes live in Fridays, kind of messes up everything. But the one thing that I learned is people were always enjoying to do stuff rather
Do
than a
stuff.
settled company. Startup company,
Yeah.
hey, what problem do we have today? And
Yeah.
there were less of a ego clash, right?
Yeah.
Hey, this is security. Hey, throw this to that guy. That guy will deal it. Nobody messes with that guy. So, and if there is something related to blockchain, there was a blockchain guy. Hey, throw this to that guy. He knows his stuff. So
Yeah.
each were trusting, and they were always, working on that common thing. And those sprints, those agile processes, nothing is on track, everything is off track, getting delayed. Vendor subscriptions management, it was crazy. It was a whole new set. And that's
Yeah.
where I thought, okay, I think I have enough. Now I need to go and find my own problems. And now I started this. As I said, I do have a failback plan probably to come back to Dubai, but the eventual goal is to, see what I can do within India. One of the motivations from India, the success stories probably everybody knows is Zoho, right?
Mm.
Fresh
Yeah.
Desk, right? These guys, the silent killers, and the other one is Zerodha. These guys were actual builders, if you ask me.
Mm.
No external influencers in terms of capital, right? They didn't go after the capital, they went for the value. They built bootstrap. The idea is take the inspiration from them, have that bootstrap, because you have a lot of product decision that you can make when you have bootstrap. The freedom is there. Once you take in capital, you give away that freedom, for revenue or some other track. So that's what we are trying to see what we can come up with. And one of the things that I do have is in the pipeline to be it as one tool for your DevOps and security, the whole infrastructure and security, right? Hey, deploy EC2, it does, no questions asked, right? If it
Okay.
needs questions, it's ask, hey, EC2, what is the rule I need to, which VLAN I need to place to? If this VLAN, if it is a production VLAN, go get a security approval. So it pings the security guy in the same chat, says, hey, this guy is deploying. Do you want to approve or not?
Yeah.
It kind of brings that agile new generation. What I can think about is organization culture. You don't need to have a whole change deployment plan. You don't need to have a whole email meetings. For example, one of the product roadmap that we have, I keep talking, so but see, imagine we are a podcast.
Mm.
Forget it's a podcast and a Zoom internal meeting,
Yeah.
right? We invite our agent to this meeting. It has
Okay.
access to our AWS infrastructure. Okay. Now we are discussing, hey, we need to scale our infrastructure from, let's say, kind of whatever, monolithic to containerized environment. Okay.
Okay.
The first question I have is, how many users do I have? Do you know? Probably you don't. You need to go and
Don't.
check. Do I
Mm.
know? I don't. I need to go and check. If I have an agent, hey, can you tell me what is the current active users on my website? It says, okay, for this user, what does the container environment look like? Hey, this is the ideal. You need to have multi agent. Okay, can you draft a plan and prepare a terraform for it? It does, right?
Yeah.
Your innovation cycle kind of speeds up.
Speeds up. Yes. That's the whole
So
thing about this kind of solution. It's
yes,
very, very interesting use case that you have found actually. Yeah.
yeah.
It's,
So that's what. See, it's what I think is it will not replace people immediately, probably
yeah.
eventually, but the idea is it can, make every employee super employee. That's what I think,
Yeah. Yeah.
right? If you look at most of the calls that I have been in my experience is relying on one or two SMEs
Mm.
to especially get the knowledge. For example, I think we used to reach out to you. Hey, when was Moesh? When was the last pen test that was conducted, right, on this
Yeah.
application, right?
Yeah.
So we used to reach out, and what is the latest report? Is there any critical findings? We
Yeah.
had to rely on you because you used to manage the whole pen testing project plan of the entire year or so, right? But now imagine an agent is doing that. So,
Yeah.
for example, the idea is, hey, are we coming up with SOC 2 or ISO compliance? Do we need to do another pen test? Or is there a latest release that is coming up? Hey, can you do only component? This component was top 10. Okay, I scheduled it for tomorrow. It's done deal.
Okay.
You don't
Yes.
need another team to do this. So
Yeah.
idea is, it can be your team's group chat member or it can be your Zoom call member where you get instant, responses to make decisions.
Yeah.
Right?
That's very interesting idea actually. Yeah.
Yeah, so that's what we are building. One is DevOps agent, one is security agent. The idea is, hey, any call, get this agent on. You can invite it joins, right? Once it joins, you can call it, hey, this is my agent. Let's say you name your agent Rizal in this case. Hey Rizal, can you tell me what's happening? Right? It says, hey, I see, your container is throwing error. This pod needs a reboot. Do you want me to reboot? Straight away answer approval. You tag an approver. He says okay, restart. It restarts.
Nice.
Imagine if a DevOps employee has to do it. He has to connect to a VPN or a jump post, log into, find his credential, log into a container, identify the pod, copy his command that he has from his repository, then paste the command, reboot it. Probably takes 30 minutes. It can do it in 30 seconds. Right?
30 seconds.
The whole idea. So there is another crazy part, right? I keep going on this RAM. The idea is, in India, probably you have seen these memes, right? People working in IMAX movie screen theaters or in autos or in footpath or stuck in traffic with a laptop, right?
Yeah. Yeah.
So
Yeah.
I
People.
had this
Yeah.
crazy idea when I was in Bangalore. Idea. Why don't you give them a toll-free number? Hey, can you connect to my organization? Right. This is my credentials that you already feed into your agent and say, hey, I'm stuck in traffic. Can you approve that PR request? Is there anything major that needs to review? Right. It can approve your PR. Done. What is the latest email? Is there any issues that I need to attend to? Probably nothing, right? Okay, can you respond to that email? Toll free number. Just if
Yes.
they don't have to open up their laptop, just be on the call
Laptop.
with their headsets and get the
Yeah.
work done.
Yes.
Right? So some crazy thoughts. I don't know how far we'll go with it, but the idea is this: you have to relieve people from this having dependency on specific knowledge areas within the organization. Because
Yeah.
technically, I've seen that too many times, too many organization. There are one or
Mm.
two guys who are amazing experts at their own things. The whole team revolves around them and
Oh,
it's pretty dependent, which burns out them also. Hey, why do I'm being pulled into all the calls,
all the course.
right?
Yes.
They can't
That's
get things done. I have been
that's
in that receiving side of things where I was in 8 different calls in a day and I couldn't do anything that day, right?
terrible.
Yeah. So the idea is that build that organization knowledge into a client or an agent and invite them to your meeting. You can have one-to-one conversation with that, or you can have a group call. Say, hey, this is the sprint that we are planning. Prepare all the tasks assigned to the group members who are in this call based on the meeting that we have. Prepare the next sprint. So
Yeah.
it does. You don't need a product manager now documenting all tasks, populating it in Jira, assigning it to respective. Why? It
Yeah.
it all feels like 20 years old way of
Yeah.
working.
Yeah.
but that's how many organizations still work.
Yeah. Yes. It's a very interesting one. When we can see an MVP for this.
See, we are
That.
going MVP or the sales we won because I have a large Splunk network, right? That I can tap in and sell my product immediately so that I get a revenue and in terms of feed into my further roadmap. The idea
Mm,
is, see, you have faced this issue, I have faced this issue in many organizations. You get a tool, you know what you need to get out of the tool. For example, you have used Splunk, and in Splunk, you need to know whether your pen test triggered something. The idea is, were you able to do that at that time? No, because you had to learn Splunk query language.
yes.
You had to
And
rely on somebody or learn, right?
yeah.
We are eliminating that. Hey, you have Splunk, you just ask. So if you say, this is my IP, can you say if my attack triggered anything? It will go through and say, your IP was found in this.
This is so.
So you can also ask, is this my regular traffic or pen testing traffic? It will say, no, this is your VPN traffic. Your pen testing traffic was detected in intrusion system, right?
Mm,
So it can be that conversational. The idea of the goal is people don't need to learn tools. They need to learn domain knowledge.
yeah.
So tools can change. For example, Splunk can become ArcSight, QRadar, Sentinel, whatever. But the
Yeah.
cybersecurity knowledge is the same. Hey, what attacks? Can you block it? Can you investigate? Is it a true positive or not? The idea is that forget about the tools in the back end. Get what you want. You don't have to be Sentinel certified to be able to query stuff, right?
Right. Yeah.
The idea is that go with Splunk, Exabeam, Logarithm, Sentinel, Azure, AWS, kind of a long product line. Along with the idea is because they hold the most data for most organization, then
Mm,
eventually expand it to CrowdStrike, EDR, Sentinel One, and other stuff, so that it gives that more flexible capability. Yeah, too many things, man. Too many things that we are trying to do, but we are going slow at a time. Launch with Splunk alone, probably in a couple of weeks.
okay.
The idea is to test the market, see, because we might be ready, but the market might not be ready. That's another risk that we have, right?
Mm,
Whether are they looking to consolidate everything into one agent?
noted.
Many big
Okay.
companies probably no, right? So that's another validation that we are after. But many things happening. Yeah, some people, especially in India, they just want to come and work. Sir, we don't need salary. I'm saying first stop saying sir. Second, get a salary. Don't even
Yeah.
offer anything for free. And
Right.
but the idea is, there is a lot of potential in this new talent that India is making. Just give them the best, because you can't ask them to fill out an Excel sheet, work on a remedy system to handle and close tickets. When they're excited, you need to give them what excites them. The
What
idea is
exactly?
that,
Exactly.
yeah, yeah, too many things. But I'm the host. I keep talking a lot. Yeah,
So it
I,
was like interesting to
yeah.
hear the what you're actually doing. Yeah. So yeah.
We're doing many things. The idea is service line of business is enabling us to do that, right? Because we do have these 4 or 5 clients who trust us. We provide those services, cybersecurity and infrastructure, right? So
Mm,
that service line of things, as a bootstrap, we don't need or chasing after profits. What we are looking at is, can we solve this problem? It's more on one, my validation. Can I bring a market to product to a market, right? Second, can we build a successful product, right? So
mm,
that's what I'm after. Whether it makes revenue or not, that's secondary. But the first goal is, can we bring the product to market? That's a big win, right? Because anybody who has done, because you have certain challenges. Can you build a team to bring that
mm,
0 to 1 product to market? Second, is that 0 to 1 product really succeeds or not, right? These are all most entrepreneurs try to interpret. Hey, I know the problem. This is a fantastic $1 billion business, but the product never takes off, right? So that's what we are just going step by step. Build a small, what we know is a problem. Then after that, iterate it to make it better.
nice.
Yeah, yeah, many things, man, many things. But our on your side, what are you up to? What are you building?
Uh, so like part of the audit things, like I'm trying to come up with some automated agent-based helper kind of thing that helps with cybersecurity audits. Like if you want to like go through a certain set of controls and everything, like it's like an autopilot kind of thing.
Same, yeah,
So you
same,
feed
same.
it with evidence files and everything. It evaluates very basic things, and then you don't have to do that boring things of
See,
we go to different places. We do evaluate the same kind of control, so we know how it will look like. But then we can
mm,
focus on specific things. So all these boring things will be automatically done by a specific agent. So that's something that I'm working on.
nice,
So
nice. Mm.
back to wearing my developer hat.
You can't get a developer out of you,
Yeah.
man. Seriously.
So
But
yeah.
if you were not in cybersecurity, what you would be doing?
Hmm. Not in cybersecurity, probably I'll be into building something like probably developer itself, but building something that's like very hardware-ish kind of thing, like not just random software, which I kind of hate. So something that is like tangible and that we can see, yeah, that sort of thing. If not
Nice.
that, then probably get into something like something related to engineering. Yeah,
Definitely,
yeah,
I can think about that hardware angle, right? I think
yeah.
recently also you're meddling with something with Flipper Zero. I saw
Yeah,
that
yeah, yeah.
YouTube video that you uploaded.
Yes, yes. So I have like a lot of content that I've shot, but I couldn't find time to edit everything. So I'm
That's the
starting.
biggest problem. Yeah.
Yeah, so I'm kind of I was kind of making a series on software-defined radios, which kind of stopped. And I started making a series on Flipper Zero. It's also slowed down because I kept doing new things. I couldn't find time on the other ones. But then something, yeah, I have like 5 videos or something that I'm currently editing slowly.
Oh,
Yeah, I have these 5 ones that I'm planning to release pretty soon.
nice, nice. See,
One
one
thing,
of the thing.
yeah,
Yeah. Go ahead, go
one
ahead.
thing would be like because I'm into audit now. I have like a lot of travel, so I travel across multiple countries. So I'm kind of shooting videos from that also. Yeah,
I've seen you like what Australia, Netherlands.
yeah.
Where all
So
have you been in the last 1 year?
I've been to Korea, Australia, Belgium, Netherlands, France, and now the next one would be Indonesia. That'll be in October. Yeah.
Man, it used to exhaust me when I was traveling as a consultant, right? How are you managing it?
No, this is more like audit travel, right? So it's like 2 weeks. So you just go to a business unit and just be there and then break everything and then just go write reports and come back. So yeah, and this is just internal. So it's not like consulting where you have like that crazy thing. Yeah, but this is very focused internal stuff. So it's very easy. I mean, it's not easy, but it's like it's very focused. So you don't get
Nice.
deviated. Yeah,
Yeah, yeah, exciting stuff, man. I know we
yeah,
booked for 1 hour, but we can go for a couple of hours. Probably I'll invite you, as I said, for another round table or probably another part two of this, but always
yeah.
exciting to talk.
Sure, sure, definitely, definitely.
And yeah. Anything last notes that you want to say about?
Uh, Nothing much from my side as of now. We'll probably have a session next session, and we'll probably focus on
Yeah.
something, and we'll
Yeah.
we'll talk
See, one
more
of the
about.
things I'm planning to have a round table is see current industry problems that the leaders face. See, you are meeting multiple departments, I would call multiple areas of business that you are touching base, multiple country regulations that you are touching base. What
Mm,
problems do you see, right? How we can tackle them? See, these are the scenarios that I'm planning to have a round table, probably with once we have 5 to 10, right?
mm.
Audiences in terms of guests that we invite. We can have them all under see how they are tackling because definitely it's not a one-off problem, but many people do have problems, especially
Yes.
with multinational companies. different local data regulation. Some countries are pretty strict, some
uh,
countries are pretty lax, right?
yes,
So how they are managing all this?
different kind of problems. Yes, definitely. We'll talk about that.
Any advice for me doing
Uh,
all the new and crazy stuff?
no,
If you,
I'm really like very interested in your idea. Like it's very, very, very. It's like very thoughtful. I would say like something that is like really needed. I often thought about this, like having like something that will, you know, eliminate all these bureaucratic steps when you want to do certain things. You can just execute it just like that. But then you have to keep track of everything, keep track of history and all these kind of things. So that would be something that you might be having a challenge with, like keeping
yeah,
track of everything. Yeah, because different organizations will be different way, and then
yeah.
people will always question about like the security aspects of it. So that will be another thing. Yeah.
See,
So
there are two things, right, that you mentioned which are really important. One is different organization works differently. That's where we
yeah.
are having something as, you know, local context and higher level context where it can
Mm.
switch, right? Because we don't want one company's policy showing up in another company's,
Another
right?
company.
That is
Yeah.
one thing because one of the challenges that security thing that you mentioned, right?
Mm.
See, I heard about a scenario where a CFO was using a copilot. Okay,
Mm-hmm.
I don't know which copilot. We'll go with just copilot for namesake. And there was this financial analyst to join intern.
Yeah. Yeah.
Probably
Okay.
you can guess what happened next, right?
Okay. They share something.
CFO uploaded all his financial confidential documents to
Yeah.
Copilot to analyze.
Yeah.
Okay, they built a local RAG, and
Okay.
analyst was able to query everything. Like the
Mm.
new joinee was the same level of data and information as a CFO.
CFO. Yeah.
So if you ask how much am I paying this contractor, it
Yeah.
says
It says, yeah.
that is the biggest challenge that we need to find a way
Yeah.
to
Way
counter it
to
because
counter
that
it. Exactly.
authorization,
Yeah.
yeah, that
That
authorization
authorization
piece.
context, I would say. Yeah.
So, those are the two things, and a lot of this empty brain space that keeps thinking about doing something. Right. One of the ideas that I had is building space data centers because real estate and uh, what energy is free there and no cooling charges. Right. You just open a window, your server cools. But
Yeah.
already there are companies that are doing it, and I didn't estimate you need at least 60 million to kick it off. I don't have that kind of money yet, at least. So once I have that, probably I can explore. There are companies that are already building space data center. So what
Yeah.
I do have, like how you face from the same curse, right? Too many ideas keep shifting from one another. I
Yeah.
think finally I was able to get around when I opened up an Excel sheet and start listing down whatever I got.
Mm.
So out of those, the priority list, starting a service line and having a minimal viable product, that's what I'm building. Then there are
Mm.
other things that I I think there are 40 plus items that I've thought through. I didn't know where to go next, but these are the two, three items that I have. Service
Yeah.
line, continue my what I had success with the Udemy revenue,
Yeah.
continuing that journey for the training revenue plan and have this product journey also. So trying to build 3 to 4 pillars of revenue so that in a long run it sustains.
Yeah. Nice.
Cool stuff. Yeah, definitely we need to catch up once more.
Yeah. So, yeah, like you mentioned Hamad. So Hamad was also like, we used to chat sometimes. And
Yeah,
then
yeah.
he would,
Every time
like,
I get
call me
enlightened
for
when I speak to him.
like, he was like, "Yeah, come down for coffee. Like, we'll meet up." Like, I still couldn't go there, even though I'm like, literally, I can see D3 from here. But
Mhm.
I would be there for some time. Yeah, probably I'll probably go there soon, and we'll catch up with Hamad and the team also.
Yeah, yeah, yeah. Probably if he has time, right, I'll try to invite him once also because every time
Yeah,
he speaks with me, I get enlightened, to do more and stuff. So
same here.
probably that's on the cards. Yeah,
Yeah, he is one other person who really inspires. Like, yeah,
yeah, yeah. I think. Yeah, during his tenure, right, 1.5 2 years I spent with him, I learned quite a lot. Kind of break out of my comfort zone and try to do things differently. The guy was genuinely, a gem.
Yeah.
I never met somebody like him again. I met other people who are great in their way, but not like Hamad. But
Yes.
yeah, definitely that was a turning point when I spent time with him, because the way that he handled disputes, the way he handled conflicts, the way he get things done, right?
The way he motivates people, like, yeah,
Yeah.
so he knows how to bring out people. Yes. Yeah.
And and you remember that inside joke that we had within STG? He
Yeah.
knows a person when to use them.
Yes, exactly. Exactly.
That that was amazing.
Yeah, yeah, true. Yeah,
Yeah, sure,
great.
man. I think I took almost 2 hours from your time. Let's
No
catch
worries.
up some other time when you have.
Sure.
Okay. Yeah,
Definitely,
definitely.
definitely.
I'll invite along with you some other people that I knew or I met along my career. If you know someone, if you want to refer someone for my guest, please do
Sure.
so that I can
Sure,
follow
sure.
with them,
Sure,
right? So
definitely.
that they
Yeah.
can be my next guest, because we are starting up. We need as many as guests, and also this is being recorded podcast, right? One of the
Mm,
things that we are doing, see, we are in a professional environment, right?
mm,
We do offer for your time. For example, one of the offers that we are running when we reach out to people, I didn't let this know to you, Moesh, because I know you would come, right? Because it's a 1 hour 2 hour from the time that you spend from your work or from your family. We
yeah.
do provide compensation like up to $100 of gift card, or up to $100 of whatever it is, because that's what
Okay.
makes it's more professional rather than just doing a favor, right? So that's what we do. But I knew you would come
Yeah,
without
definitely.
anything. So, but
Yeah.
for whatever the people that we are inviting, we are running a campaign. Hey, because we know everybody's time is worth. That's how professionals work, and we are ready to compensate for that. But we are looking some positive responses. Let's hope who makes it to the next week.